Hey y'all, before we get into today's episode, I just wanted to say here up top, I had a couple audio issues on my end. I'm not sure why, but occasionally my voice will sound a little, I don't know, robotic or whatever. You know, there's a little bit of kind of effect on it. I'm not sure why that is. I think I was messing around with my cords too much, so in any case, I do apologize for that, but I don't think it's too bad. And secondly, you guys should really check out this ExpressVPN thing. You know, there's something to it. You can, like, torrent stuff. You can pretend that you're in, like, France or Britain or China or Japan or South Korea, Australia. You know, you guys know the countries. We go over them. But, yeah, you guys should check it out. And if you want to check it out and get 3 free months, go to expressvpn.com/inchaoswetrust. I know that was my old show, but the link still works. And yeah, pay me money so I can stop asking you to do this. And without further ado, let's get into the show.
We've got flags and banners, and if you mind your manners, we might even get to standards and what they represent. So just take my voice's hand and we'll both try to understand how this vexillary logic podcast could be flagged for content. Flagged for content.
What's up, Vex Heads? Welcome to episode 4 of Flagged for Content. We've got a pretty explosive show for you guys today and a great guest, but wanted to get a couple things out of the way first, just a little housekeeping. We do an Instagram contest every week where if you can name the flag or flags that I'm taking pictures of, you get a shout out on next week's show. And wouldn't you know it, I waited almost too long to do this week's, but I did get it in time, and you guys are fast as hell. Somebody got it 6 minutes after I posted it, and that one this week would be flag_session. So go check out flag_session. It is a really cool account. I don't know them personally, but from what I can tell, it's a couple that travels kind of around the world, or just like maybe within their native Australia, and takes pictures of different flags that they find on buildings, flags in the wild kind of basically thing, and post them with a lot of interesting information about them. So yeah, go give them a follow at flag_session. And I think that's pretty much all the housekeeping today, so we can go ahead and get into it. But yeah, you have reached the podcast you were looking for. This is Flagged for Content. It is the only podcast brave enough to have 4 white dudes with beards as guests. And as such, we have got another one with us today. So let's get straight into it. I don't have time to fuck around here up top. Our guest today is a nationally traveling actor, writer, and comedian. He has written for Gut Check Magazine, The Hard Times, and Oregano.com. And you may have also seen him in the award-winning short film, The Voiceover. It's Bryant Smith!
Yeah, baby, Bryant Smith in the house. What's up?
Whoa!
I'm here.
I'm not
I don't know I don't know shit about dick. I don't know dick about flags.
I am not used to that energy.
Good.
I love it.
I'm a high energy comic.
Okay,
Ask
good.
anyone I've walked out of a room.
Yeah, it's true. I was going to say, I know I mentioned comedian up top there, but yeah, if you are local to the Chattanooga area, you may already know Bryant Smith, and if not, get down to JJ's sometime and see him perform. It's a lot of fun. I have done it myself.
Is super fun.
So we're taking him a little bit out of his element today to talk about flags, which are not inherently funny, but as we'll see today, some of them kind of can be.
I hope so.
Yeah. What would you say your overall knowledge of the flags of the world, flags of the states, just flags in general is?
Like I can typically recognize like the American flag when I see it, but that's still kind of shaky. I don't know a lot about flags. I do not know much at all about them. When I agreed to do this show because it's called Flagged for Content, I was like, ooh, I get to be naughty on the airwaves. But no, instead I have to learn stuff.
Well, yeah, the spirit of the show is, little column A, little column B. We are minimally educational, probably.
That's my kind of educational. like
but
my
you
high
know,
school.
we do get through it. I mean, I even had an Instagram post or one of our followers saying something that he had learned from the pirate episode
Oh.
2. Our flag means content. So you know, it's nice to hear that.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
minimally educational, maximally entertaining. I like to think anyway. So yeah, we'll get, like I said, probably for the 5th time now, straight into it. And
Let's do it.
I am going to give you. So yeah, the way it'll work is I will describe the first flag to you, and you will have to kind of guess at what you think that flag might be.
Okay.
After that, I'll just send you pictures. I'm not going to do that every time. But,
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
So this first one is termed as thus. It is a green field with the Shahada, or Muslim creed, written in the Tuluth script in white above a horizontal sword having its tip pointed to the left. Do you have any idea what flag that may be?
Is that no? Because doesn't ISIS's flag have like laurels on it or something?
I think ISIS's flag is more. Well, it's not green. I can say that much.
Yeah.
It does have the
theirs is
script, and
black.
it's
Theirs is black.
Yeah,
Yeah, theirs is black. Is it Syria?
it's not. It's geographically close. You want to guess again, or you want me to let you know?
Oh man, if it's geographically close, Pakistan has like stars on it.
Pakistan does have a lot of green, but
Yeah, but it's got like a bunch of stars on it. Here's the trick: is I'm actually a ringer. I do kind of know a little bit about. I am pretty good at flags, because I'm good at geography. Geographically close to Syria.
it's a little south of Syria.
It's not the Saudi one.
Mm.
Is it Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
It's Saudi Arabia? Hell yeah, I did it!
Yeah.
Suck it, teachers that told me I was dumb.
First try, baby. Yeah, you nailed that one. So yeah,
Damn.
so this is the flag of Saudi Arabia, and let me send you the image here so you can see what it looks like.
Yeah. Oh, see, I was picturing like the really curly script that's on the ISIS flag. That's what threw me off, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because looking at it, I'm like, yeah, that's Saudi Arabia. And I know that because the WWE does blood money shows there 2 or 3 times a year.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. I know. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say, I know you're a huge wrestling fan. Actually,
Yeah.
when I was gearing up for this episode, I was trying to get ideas, I had a couple ideas on the back burner, and I was trying to think of are there wrestling flags I could go over with Bryant? But most of the wrestling flags that I found were just the name of the organization printed on a flag.
Yeah.
Like NWA or WWE.
NWA,
or
WWE,
whatever.
AEW, yeah.
Yeah, so they're not that entertaining.
No.
I was I'm sure Bryant will know them.
Yeah.
Hey, a flag with a black field that says WWE in a stylized font, and you're gonna be like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's the vanity flag of Vince McMahon.
right? Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, yeah, so this is the flag of Saudi Arabia.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it like I said, it does have the Shahada. Do you know anything about what that is? The writing?
Is it a prayer?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I think it's considered a prayer. It's there.
Yeah.
It's the there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah.
Gotcha.
Kind of I guess it'd be like if the Lord's Prayer was on a lot of Christian flags or something.
Yeah.
Or at least the
Yeah.
Our Father ... or something. The thing with
I think that is on the flag of Georgia now. Or no, it's the flag of Alabama.
yeah.
It just says Our Father, and it's a picture of a pregnant teenager.
Oh, God. Yeah. I think Oklahoma's trying to outdo them for that one, but
Yeah.
there's going to be a race to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's the Shahada, and honestly, I normally hate script on flags, when it's just a flag that says, we're talking about WWE or whatever.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
But when this is the Thuluth maybe script. I don't know exactly what all different variants of Arabic script there are.
Yeah.
But this one is so fucking pretty to me. If our language looked like that, I'd have no problem with language on flags, words on flags. But yeah, go for it. Because it just looks like a design. And then so the thing under that is let me see.
It's like a cavalry saber.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's closer to a
like
saber
cavalry
than.
saber.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
sword is the kind of broad description, but it's definitely more like a saber.
Because I was thinking like a scimitar, like a big curved blade, but this one's sort of a straight blade.
Right,
Looks
yeah.
like a saber.
Yeah, I mean scimitars are Middle Eastern, broadly speaking. I believe
Yeah.
anyway. So
Hmm.
You could think that,
especially once you get around the other side of the Horn of Africa, like that area in going back to the pirate episode that my beloved roommate was on. That's part of the reason why nautically that that the Europeans started going west was because they were getting the shit rated out of them as soon as they got around the southern coast of Africa and come back the other side. And it was a whole bunch of people with scimitars that wanted your spices and your gold and your life. Well, mostly just your like products that they could sell or steal back that they had already sold you as you were coming back.
right? Yeah.
Or they were on the payroll of the Dutch, because because the Dutch and the Italians were like stopping that, like they were the ones getting the spices. But yeah, that's why Europe tried to go west. They were like, we're going to go to India this way so we stop getting stabbed the other way.
That's a really interesting historical note. Like, I did not know that. I did love your phrasing of like, yeah, they're either like just completely like fucking like murderous and all this other shit, or they were Dutch.
Yeah. Oh no, because
although I'm sure the Dutch were bad too.
I would never insult a thieving, murdering person by comparing them to those animals, the Dutch.
That'd be terrible.
The Dutch were monsters.
Yeah, but yes, it is the Shahada and then the sword. It's I guess like when I think of a cavalry sword, I do think of it being curved a little bit, which this is not, but it does have the same like handle hilt kind of area thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, a few important notes about the Saudi Arabian flag, because the Shahada, that's the words on it, is considered holy. It is not really ever seen, at least in the country, on like t-shirts and shorts and like swim trunks and all the stuff, like how we have the American flag and like everything. Yeah, even though it's like maybe technically against the flag code or whatever, I'm still not entirely clear on that. Because the flag code says like you shouldn't take the American flag and make it into something. And I would argue that they are making something out of similar fabric. But anyway, we don't have to go into the whole flag code thing.
Yeah.
But this one, just by virtue of having the there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his prophet or messenger on it is not used on t-shirts, not used on like, shoes, things like that. And it's especially not used on soccer balls, which FIFA made a huge misstep on in 2002.
Oh, wow. That is a big misstep.
Yeah. So in 2002, I guess was it the World Cup because 06 is the first one I remember. Every 4 years. Yeah. So they, in the World Cup, they had a soccer ball that, like how a soccer ball is like all these little, what are they? Pentagrams or hexagrams or hexagons. Yeah. Pentagrams.
Or no, they are pentagons.
I think they're pentagons, not pentagrams. Hexagons. Although, be metal as hell. And, but they, so like they had one with like all the little pentagons as different flags of different, the nations that had qualified for the World Cup. And one of them was the Saudi flag. And the Saudis, the Saudis were like, hey, we would rather people didn't kick the Shahada. Like, we'd rather people didn't just like put their foot on it. The wording that I found anyway was that was completely unacceptable, but I'm sure behind closed doors they had a few other choice words to say about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's missteps like that can be made. And the other interesting thing about it that I found was they never lower it to half mast as a sign of like mourning or anything like that. Right, because it would be considered blasphemous. For the same reason,
because the idea of Allah on, it's the idea of Allah on high, and the idea of Allah being anything but on high is extremely blasphemous.
Yeah, I mean,
in Islam.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an interesting flag. It's pretty to look at for one thing, but it's interesting in its kind of like not only its design differences, but it's like use differences. Like we talk mostly on the show about like design differences, especially episode 1, where there were a bunch of Nordic cross flags and they're all pretty much just design differences. Like Sweden wants this part to be yellow and that part blue. Denmark thinks it should be red and white, blah, blah, blah. But this is an actual use difference, which I think, other than maybe the pirate episode, which was like a little separate and special, this is the only one where we've really seen a flag that's used differently. And I think that's super interesting.
Yeah, that's extremely cool.
Yeah, any other notes on this one before we move on, or?
I think it's pretty. Don't hurt me. But no, I think it's super pretty flag. Actually, I think it's pretty cool.
It is very don't hurt me. The
Yeah.
sword is meant. The sword is on there, and I meant to mention this earlier, but as a sign of like just and thorough application of the law. And
Oh yeah.
you can go ahead and assume what the law
Yeah.
means. Women driving, huh?
Mm,
I don't know about
none of
that.
that.
Here's the
None
sword.
of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, not a super chill flag by any
Yeah.
means, but yeah.
Wait. Are you telling me that the Saudis don't have chill? No.
I would never.
No
I don't
way.
want to. I have listeners in that part of the world. Strangely,
Do you?
yeah, I actually looked this up the other day. So I would
That's
never
cool.
say that. I think they have a lot of chill. But yeah, if it's cool with you, we will move on to the next flag.
Yeah.
and
Let's get to the next one.
and you'll
let's,
you'll maybe start to sense the theme here, because there is a theme to this episode, which I have not
Oh.
revealed to you yet.
Okay.
The listener will know from the title probably, but
Yeah.
all right. So next flag that we
Oh.
have here, and if you could go ahead and describe that to the listeners.
Okay, so it is a yellow field with blue and orange vertical bars on the left, a little space, and then a red field with 4 what appear to be yellow teardrops in each corner, and a lion facing to the left holding an ornate sword with what appears to be a fleur-de-lis on the hilt.
Damn, dude, that's a really good description for a not easy to describe flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
No, I've seen it before. That's the Fortnite flag.
Oh, yep.
I'm kidding. That's actually the WWE flag.
Yeah, no, this one's the WW. Actually, I think this is the NWO.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
that-
sorry
you
to
got
like
Damn it.
body you on like wrestling stuff,
Now,
but yeah.
God, you outed me as a wrestling poser. God damn it.
No, but
Oh,
you
man.
described it pretty much as well as any vexillology site does, which is it's
Nice.
a golden field with 2 panels. Like the one on the panel on the left is a little bit smaller, and it's got I think what's described as a teal and orange stripes. And
Yeah.
then the which take up about like I think like a third, like the left
Yeah,
third.
they take up a third.
The hoist
they take
side.
up the left third. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the
And
lion, it takes up the right 2/3. Yeah, he has like his own kind of maroon field within the field. And then those aren't teardrops, but they definitely look like that is the shape
Like
of them.
onions or little garlics.
They let me see if I can find it. I know they changed it to, because it used to be like 4 daggers kind of pointing in on it, and spearheads actually, and
Spearheads.
they replaced the spearheads with bow leaves. B-O. I don't know what plant that is, but it must be native to Sri Lanka.
Oh,
Which is where
yeah,
this flag is
I
from.
would have, as soon as you said bow leaves, I knew it was Southeast Asia, and I was just like, that's not Thailand. That's definitely not China. Fuck, what is that? What is that? Sri Lanka. Beautiful place. Beautiful place. Would love to go sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, this is the flag of Sri Lanka, and like you said, it is the right 2/3 are a lion holding a sword. I assume you're sensing a
Yeah.
theme here.
Yeah, swords.
Yeah.
You're putting me to the sword.
Yes, exactly.
This is how I die. This is how I die. Describing flags. The old fortune teller woman was right.
Yeah. By the way, I got plans after
Got an
this.
actual sword. Excellent.
I'll be over
Just
after.
hiding in my closet, and as soon as the show's over, you just lop my head off.
I'm just
Hey,
recording.
I don't
like
have
in
to
a
go to work
completely-
tomorrow if
yeah.
you do that. So.
I've noise-proofed your entire closet. I'm just sitting there with a laptop, somehow with a mic too. I don't know. Figure it out.
Oh god.
Yeah. So anyway, Sri Lanka. This flag is super interesting to me because it is a very, very, very old design. Like we talk in episode 1 about the Danish flag, like the Norwegian or the Norwegian. They would hate that. The Norse Scandinavian cross being on that, and it being supposedly the oldest flag in the world. Standardized anyway. This one goes back longer, although not in this exact form. But the lion itself, the part that is more interesting really, Dates back to 486 BC.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, and that's crazy to me because, like, I'm so used to when I see a lion of any kind on a flag, if I see a griffin on a flag, any kind of, like, animal on a flag, but particularly a lion, I'm going to think this is a Northern European flag. This is like a Middle European flag. And to find out that this dates back to the 400s and very much in the same style even as a Western European lion, or but it's Sri Lankan.
Yeah.
So that sort of parallel is like really cool to me.
No, it's very cool. Like, yeah, and most of those ones, like that you were talking about in Northern Western Europe, like a lot of those come around in like the Middle Ages, like broadly speaking, 1200s,
Europe,
1500,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, Europe didn't really start using flags until like dukes started fighting each other, right? They were just putting their family crests on some canvas so they could be like, hey, this is who's coming to beat your ass, buddy, mister.
Yep. Yeah, no, exactly. So yeah, this one is super interesting in that it has like a very similar, like, you know, it's whatever they call that, like it's profile view, you know, facing like away. It's not turned, it's not I don't know if it's technically rampant, it's holding the sword, whatever. But I can show you actually the oldest version that they have on file of it. And this isn't exactly, you know, the one from
Gotcha.
486 BC, but it's the, you know, the earliest kind of one that they could find. And I'll just describe it really quick, but it's basically just like a black and white pennant with a white field, like a lion kind of like scrawled on it. It almost looks like a cave painting or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still holding a sword. So like that part has like kept up through all these years, like 2,500 years. They've had this as their symbol, which I think is incredibly cool.
That is insane. Yeah.
But yeah, so it was Vijaya, the first king of Sri Lanka. He arrived. You know, Sri Lanka is like an island that's like southeast of India, and he brought with him like a standard, which even then, like you said, like most European monarchs, dukes, whatever, they didn't even have standards around 486 BC. Some of them, Roman Empire, yes, they did have a few.
Yeah, they were running a lot of pennants and things like that, but mostly what they were running were those like weird tapestries, those weird vertical tapestries they would hold up that would have like the regiment information.
Yeah, standards usually, yeah.
Yeah, standards. Okay, I didn't know they were called that. My bad.
Well, you know, I've been teasing it a lot in the theme song to this podcast. I say we've got flags and banners, and if you mind your manners, we might even get to standards. So I think the listeners have minded their manners for long enough. We can talk about a couple standards now and then. It's not the end of the world. But anyway, he brought this with him, and it was basically depicting the lion with the sword, and it was depicted on a mural in what I have only found to be called Cave Number 2 at Dambula Viharaya. It was like this like kind of like battle scene. From what I gather, there was an invading ruler from South India that was trying to take the island by conquest. And so they, you know, depicted this scene in this cave thing. And one of them had a banner with the lion with the sword on it. Unfortunately, in 1957, that was defaced by a vandal.
No.
I know, dude. That shit like boils my blood. Like
that makes me so mad. There was like, because where were they? Where were the big famous cave paintings?
Lascaux in France.
Lascaux, yeah. Fucking someone defaced those just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Like, not long ago.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And like there's no restoring that.
Nope.
You know, there's no restoring that.
Nope.
It's a fucking cave painting. And like honestly, listeners, if you ever in your life hear of someone you know even thinking that, no questions asked, dead on the spot, kill them, murder them in the street.
Yeah, my suggestion was going to be, you know, kindly tell them that there's something else they can vandalize that isn't old.
Yeah. Like a cop car. You can vandalize a police car.
Ooh,
easy peasy.
Yeah. I was going to say I like yours better, but now I like mine better. Yeah. Yeah, now that you brought that up. Yeah, no, that's easy. Spray paint a pig on it. Something like that. Who cares? That, you know, get it out. Whatever.
Yeah.
But no, this one is super, super fucking cool. I love the lion holding the sword because most lions on flags are not really holding much. There are some, like, I think, like, the Finnish royal standard has a lion with a couple swords, and that's pretty cool. Maybe the Swedish one. There's not a ton
Yeah.
that come to mind, although I'm sure in the comments, like, people will...
People are like, it's this.
Yeah. There's probably more than I can think of, I'm sure, but...
It's the war standard of Belgium from the Battle of 1610.
Yeah, right?
Some shit.
And just, like, one last note on this one, because, like, we do have a few to get to today, but
Okay.
did you know that before Sri Lanka was called Sri Lanka, and before it was called Ceylon, which was the British name for it, it was called... the Kingdom of Kandy.
Like,
With a K.
like, is that a
Kandy?
I was gonna say, is that a literal translation, or is that
Nope.
just one of the word?
Well, the kingdom
Sure
of
it's not
is,
like-
but
yeah,
the candy part, yeah.
Kingdom of Kandy. We're ruled by a sword lion.
And dude, when I found out, yeah. So, all right. I know it's dragons that are mostly like keen on like keeping their hoard, you know, and everything.
Yeah.
But it could be a lion with a sword too, and he's just got like a horde of fucking like bonbons of various varieties behind him. He's got Twix and Twizzlers and.
If you touch a Ferrero Rocher within 100 feet of the sword lion, he'll carry you away, murder the shit out of you. He'll fucking kill your kids.
You're in the kingdom of candy now, bitch. Oh my god. Yeah. I couldn't, like, it's not integral to the story. I just couldn't leave that unsaid.
Yeah.
I needed you and all the listeners to know. And I know I don't mean to laugh at this on a on like a level of like
I mean to laugh at
other
this.
cultures. But like, come on. You know, even the most like left or whatever person can be like, all right, Kingdom of Candy, that's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, no, they the long story short is that they found that in the cave. A couple like I don't know, like just nationalists, but back when that was like an okay thing to be, at least in Sri Lanka. Like they traveled to like Britain, to London, and they went to some museum in Chelsea, and they found like where it was like where the original one, like you know, maybe they'd taken like an etching of it or something like from the cave drawing, and they found that, and they were like full of national pride, and they were like, all right, we're gonna bring this back, make it the flag again, because up until then the flag was like British Ceylon, and it was just, you know, one of those with like the Union Jack up here, and then like some other like a blue field and some other nonsense.
Yeah.
So
Like,
like
a very Western flag, which honestly, Western flags are boring.
most Western flags are pretty boring.
Most Westerns, yeah.
Yeah, so this one was, we'll move on, but this one was incorporated in 1972, at least like finalized on the design. Like I said, they changed the spearheads around the lion to bow leaves. Other than that, they don't seem to have changed too much from the previous one. Over the years, it changed a little bit. And then I meant to mention that Saudi Arabian one is from 1973, so just a year after this one. And
cool.
yeah.
Oh, that's the theme. It's their flags. From the
Yeah,
70s.
these are flags from the 70s. Yeah. Yeah, no, they're all like tie-dyed and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get to the next one, which is this. Could you briefly describe that for the listener?
This one is a mess. Let me maximize it here real quick. Oh, wow. This one is a huge mess. Okay. So it is a bisected field, blue on top, red on bottom. In the center, a white square on which there is depicted a green hill with 6 spears, 6 larger spears, 2 cannons, 2 bugles, 2 stacks of cannonballs, 2 what appear to be like half of an anchor, I guess, and then a banner below, a white banner below that reads "L'Union fait la force."
Damn, dude.
And it is hideous. This flag is fucking hideous.
I agree.
Oh, and there's a little hat. It's the spears and stuff are bisected by a palm tree, and at the top there is a blue and red cap.
Dude, you are a fucking flag ringer, aren't you? I am super fucking impressed with that. Not only with that description, but also for your French pronunciation on that, because French
I also took French in high school.
Okay. Yeah.
High school ain't college.
That does help. Yeah. And do you have, so there's French on it, there's all that other nonsense that you just said.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea where this could be from?
Barbados.
You're in the right geographical area.
Okay, I knew it was in the islands. Let's go. That is not Haiti.
It is.
It is Haiti? God damn it! I was like, there's no way it's my second guess, and it was.
And I'll do an air horn right here. No, yeah, dude. Not only second guess, you nailed the French. The fact that you said cap for the thing that's on top of the tree, even like
because it's a cloth hat.
Yeah, it is.
So that is a cap.
Yeah, it's a Phrygian cap, is what it's called. And that was if you've ever seen like French Revolutionary things, there's Marianne leading the people usually. And Marianne was like the symbol of revolutionary France, and she's wearing this Phrygian cap, which I'm going off of memory now, but I think was something for like freedmen in like Rome or Greece or something. Phrygian makes me think Greece.
Yeah. Phrygian definitely sounds more Greek, and then I'm not sure on that one, but you sound right.
It's something like that. It's something about freedmen or something like that.
Yeah.
It's basically, if you know anything about the history of Haiti, they have a lot in common with freedmen.
The rest, on account of that whole war thing, that whole like awesome uprising, and then so it's so funny because when that uprising happened, when the slaves in Haiti revolted and took the island back from the plantation owners. There was a lot of, oh, you will be cursed for 1,000 years. And, the rumors that Haiti did deals with, like the Haitians made deals with the devil to make that happen, and they'd be cursed for 1,000 years or whatever. And that's all kind of a cover up for what actually happened, which is they left Haiti after, generations of slavery. They got run out, and they just didn't come back, but instructed everyone around not to trade with Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
And so that caused mass death, mass starvation, and is the reason why, Haiti is a third world country right now. If they were able to begin trading as a freedman country in the Caribbean at that time, you would be looking at probably one of the biggest economic powerhouses in the world. Because they would have dominated trade. They would have been like the Dutch, except a lot less hand cut offy in the Congo.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was mostly the Belgians, but there's overlap, but
whatever.
In the Congo,
whatever.
Anyway. The Dutch cut off hands elsewhere, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, dude, that was a really good summary of it. I couldn't have said it much better. That is the gist of it.
You.
It's not just like literally everything that you just said, but it's also like the French government made them pay them back for
reparations.
Reparations, but reparations in the wrong fucking direction. If you ask, I don't know, anybody,
literally anyone with a pulse. Yeah. Well,
and they didn't finish paying that off for like hundreds of years. I don't think
hundreds of years
because like you said, they were kneecapped by all these like agreements to not trade with them and everything else. Like, they got
and. The way France worded it, because it was essentially a lawsuit. You got to remember, these are a bunch of former slaves suddenly have to deal with a lawsuit from the French government, and they don't have international trade law training. Certainly not, at that time. And the way the suit was worded was essentially they sued for something like 1,000 years or like 100 years or something like that.
Of like lost profits or whatever. Yeah,
of lost profit. And it's so fucked up, man. The Caribbean was so fucked up in the 1700s.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like every one of those countries has its own kind of like horror story of, winning independence and everything. But like, I don't know if there are any that are worse than Haiti's.
Yeah.
And like you said, it still has a bearing today in 2022. I mean, like you hear about these things happening in Haiti. Like obviously there's some things that can't help, hurricanes, things like that. But like the response to it and the, everything else that comes after that is just like not up to par because like they've never really had a chance. And then in like I think 70s, I forget 70s, 80s maybe, Papa Doc Duvalier and Baby Doc, his son, like ruled the country as dictators, further setting it back, which you have to argue like maybe that situation never comes about if all the other shit didn't happen first.
Yeah.
We can play dominoes all day there, but
yeah, I think the timeline would have stayed the same. It's just they would have gotten the dictator earlier and they would have gotten rid of the dictator.
That's probably true.
Later. Yeah.
But so
God damn, I'm smart. Crazy.
no, yeah, you know a ton of this shit. I love it as somebody who, you know, like I write the outlines and do this, that, and the other for the show. It's nice to have somebody else who can kind of carry it for a bit. Not that the other guests haven't been able to.
Yeah.
But it is nice to have somebody else who you know, knows the shit. So
someone else who follows our history memes.
Yep. Yeah, more or less. So speaking on the flag itself, is there anything that, like you said, awful flag? I agree with you.
Yeah.
Anything that, like, I don't know, stands out special, or
So to me,
or maybe links it to the other flags that I've shown you?
Swords, spears.
Yeah. Okay.
Weaponry.
Yep. It's the gist of it.
Yeah. Yeah, they all kind of look like they're battle flags, but they're nation flags.
Mm-hmm. And quick question. Which one do you prefer, the one that I showed you or this one?
Second one. Definitely.
Second one's better, right? It's the same flag.
Yeah.
So I just sent
It's
Bryant...
the same flag, but the little clip art is blown up more.
Dude, and it honestly is like clip art. It's like that level of...
Yeah.
It's got a much bigger position in the middle of the flag. Whereas like the current one, it's just like you barely, like, why does it bother having words on it if you can't fucking read them?
Yeah.
From afar. I mean, like the current one. L'Union fait
like
la
at
force,
this point,
you can't read.
Yeah. Yeah, like at this point, just get rid of the clip art and just have a blue and red field.
And honestly, they do. That is their variant flag, which is just a blue and red bisected field, like you called it earlier.
Yeah.
And I think that one's like more palatable. I mean, it's a little close to Liechtenstein's, but other than that.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is, like, the way that this flag came about in the first place is it used to be, instead of bisected like vertically or horizontally like that, it used to be bisected vertically, where it was blue on the left, red on the right. And the way that they got that was the country that they got independence from, France, had at that time, well, and still now, but blue, white, and red flag. They tore out the white, the part that stands for peace, because they're like, fuck y'all. Y'all don't like peace. Y'all been enslaving us for years. They tore out the white part, literally stitched the blue and red together, and then put, from 1803 to 1804, they put liberté ou la mort, freedom or death, just in white letters over it. Then obviously that kind of goes through some changes. At a certain point, the blue became black, and then blue again, and black again, blue again.
Yeah.
The Duvaliers liked the black.
Yeah. Yeah. You can definitely sense the French influence there, which is just like a flag with revolutionary phrases written on it.
Yeah, I don't know if
that's what a lot of like the standards that were being carried during the French Revolution looked like, were things like that.
Yeah, and we haven't even mentioned the l'union fait la force part means like basically unity makes strength, or strength through unity, or something like that. Yeah, and then the common thing that I was hoping that you did, and you did key in on, was the weapons on the flags. That is the theme this week. You got there, we got there as listeners, and everyone else. And so these are going to be the flags of the world that have weapons on them. I am not going to include a bunch of like local, state, oblast flags, things like that. There are a lot of those that have weapons on them, trust me. But we're just going over like national ones, and we may even skip over a couple of those. But the other thing that I think is worth pointing out on the Haitian flag is the fact that it has its own flag on its flag.
Yeah.
Which I like to call flagception for obvious reasons. You can hear the going on, but like, I think as a amateur, what do they call us, vexillophiles, as someone who likes flags but doesn't like actively like work in the community on them and everything, I hate this. It's just one reason that the flag is shitty to me. Like you mentioned, I mean, the reason, or one of the reasons being that the emblem is so small in the middle that you're barely able to make it out. Two, like I said earlier, the letters, the wording on the flag, I'm not a fan of that, unless it's in Arabic, apparently, then I like it. And three, the flag on flag action is sometimes hot, but usually not. Actually, in this case, it's never is, really.
It's not hot. No. And like, it's just, And the flag that is on the flag is just so goddamn busy, right? It's just so busy. There are, let's see here, 6, 9, 10, 11 weapons on it. Because it's got like cannon on either side.
Yeah, that's
spears
true.
on either
It might
side,
actually hold the
pikes
distinction
on
of
either
having
side.
the most weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that kind of aspect of it, but
But like it's got so much work because it's got a drum, it's got 2 axes on it, it's got fucking some horns, what appears to be a water bottle, chains, cannonballs.
wait, where's the
anchors.
water bottle?
The
canteen?
Yeah, the canteen
Okay.
next to the bugle.
I was like, are there more words on this flag? Does it say fucking Dasani or something? Because I'm gonna
Yes.
kill myself if it does.
And it's got a palm tree and a hat on the palm tree and 2 little pennants like stuck into the ground next to the fucking cannons. Like there's just so much going on with that flag. It's such a busy, stupid looking flag.
I looked up what was going on with the half anchors, but I have since lost that information, and I don't care to track it down again right now.
Yeah.
But it is, like I said, it's one of the 7 national flags whose designs incorporate a depiction of the flag itself, which again, I don't know, seems silly. And it is one of 4 national flags of UN member states, not overall nations, but UN member states, to feature a firearm in any capacity.
Huh.
2 of the other ones we're going to go over today. Actually, you know what? Let's get to one now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're running low on time because we keep like history buffing at each other.
No, dude, if we have to have a longer episode, I'm not mad unless you are.
Oh, well, I got wrestling at 8.
You got wrestling at 8? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Keep that part in. Let the people know what kind of a G they're working with. I'm a genius when I fall asleep. I watch wrestling every goddamn week.
All right, so then quickly explain this flag to me.
I actually really like this one. It is a trisected field, light blue left, white center, light blue right. Laurels are in the center of the white field. Within the laurels, there is 2 curved sabers, 2 cavalry sabers, 2 rifles with bayonets, a green bird. I don't think that's a bird of peace or bird of paradise. Certainly not a bird of peace with the weapons, but a green bird with a brown breast. Its tail is curving to the right, and then in the center over all of that is a scroll. Upon the scroll is Libertad is de Septembre de 1821.
Yeah. I don't think we need to say any more. Any idea on what this one is?
It's a French colony. I can't remember which one.
It's not a French colony.
It's not a French or a former French colony, right?
That is Spanish written on there.
Oh, is that?
I know you said it with a French accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, Libertad instead of Liberté.
Yeah.
15 de septiembre
de
de whatever 1821 is. I'm not good with numbers.
It's 1821. Argentina? No, they don't have writing and shit on it.
But the colors are
close?
very similar. The colors
Yes.
are, I think, maybe Pantone-wise, like the same.
Yeah.
I can tell you it's a little bit north of that. A bit north of that.
Yeah.
But a bit south of Mexico. Well, a little south of Mexico.
Yeah, that's where I get a little hazy sometimes because there's a bunch of shit right there.
There are a lot of similar flags in this area. You want me to tell you, or you want to guess?
Let me get a couple more in. Is it Guatemala?
Yep.
Hey!
Yeah, you nailed it. First try again. Yeah, so this is Guatemala, and as you already sensed the theme, the weapons. Yes, this is one of the few. Where was I? I was on Haiti last time talking about the.
That the UN that is like a UN sponsored country that has a firearm on their flag.
Yep. Yeah, one of 4 national flags of UN member states. So yeah, Haiti was one. This is one, and we'll go over one of the others. And yeah,
just draining them from the 3-point line all day. What's up? What's good?
Y'all just edit out all the other guesses. And have you do it exactly like immediately after I say it. Like, so can you name this flag? It's the flag of Guatemala.
Yeah. No, have that long before it's like Guatemala.
Yeah. So it is the flag of Guatemala. The bird that you couldn't quite place is called a quetzal.
A quetzal.
A quetzal, yeah. It's a common like Central American, South American bird.
Yeah.
Quetzalcoatl
it is
was
actually
like
the bird of
yeah.
Yeah, a quetzal is a bird of paradise.
Oh, it is a bird of
if
paradise.
I remember correctly. Yeah, if I remember correctly.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did a play when I was in high school that was kind of about this region, and that's about all I know about this region. Like the history of this region, I'm not as fresh on. I know a lot more about like French colonial history and English colonial history and like Dutch and Belgian colonial history. But like Spanish colonial history was notoriously brutal. So whatever happened
Cortez
there wasn't
the killer.
good. Yeah, whatever happened there was not good.
No. Which is why they have the fucking date of independence on the flag. Like, hey, this is the exact date that we didn't have to live under those douchebags anymore.
Yeah, this is the exact date.
Like, to the day.
Yeah, this is the exact day we told the Spanish to go fuck themselves.
Yep.
But yeah, I did this play in high school, and it was called. It wasn't called La Llorona. No, it was called La Llorona. It was about this young boy in it didn't specify which Middle American, South American country that the boy had originated from, but his entire family were a casualty of war, and he had to basically hitchhike to the only family he had left who were in Los Angeles. And the play follows him going through this area, and the stuff that happens, like this was a children's play, but it was still kind of super like very forward and very upfront and very brutal with what that trek is like. And that trek is the most terrifying thing because you're going on foot from typically as far south as, Argentina or Colombia or somewhere like that. We don't get a lot of Peruvians and Chileans because they just go to Brazil or they stay in Peru and Chile. But in the parts of that area where there is still a lot of war and violence, it's fucking horrifying. So I'm very surprised that their flag has any blue on it whatsoever.
Yeah, the blue on the flag. Well, you see how it has like the white strip down the middle, like you said, it's trisected.
Yeah.
The white strip down the middle is basically representing that it is in Central America. And so they cleverly kind of put the blue on either side to represent the Pacific near the hoist side and the Atlantic on the fly side.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clever, actually.
That is pretty clever.
But that's like a lot of the reason that a lot of states, like a lot of nations, like down that way. And then, if you get into like Argentina, I think Uruguay as well, but like they have like these exact colors. I think they're even the same. This one is designated as, see, I wrote it down. The blue is called Maya blue, like as in like the Mayans that lived around there.
Yeah.
And it represents both them. I guess like it has some tie to the ancient Mayas in some sense, and also like the oceans being on either side of the country. I think it's super interesting. It's the most modern.
Yeah.
Like we've seen the one, like the Haitian one has cannons. This one has rifles with bayonets that are a little bit more modern than the cannons. Maybe contemporary, you could argue. Those are like short barrel cannons, which I think are a little older than these rifles would be.
No, this was in. Well, no. Because the rifles are long. They go past. Those are long rifles, but they look like the kind that was really popular. Kind of not around 1821, but probably a little north of that, north of the Civil War, like 1870, 1890 into the early 1900s. They appear sort of like those old lever action rifles.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about.
I don't want to blow that up, but this flag was adopted in 1871. Oh, wait, no, you said that. You said, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you said
like
19. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, 18, like, I may have said 19, but
No.
I meant like post-Civil War, Wild West era, or Wild West, quote unquote, era.
No, you said
really
it exactly right.
Yeah.
And I jumbled it in my head. So, yeah, I'm just like, I'm trying to find anything to like take you down a peg, man, because like, honestly, you keep coming at me with all these flag facts, all these nation facts, and I'm like, who do you want to host the podcast or what? Because this is my job.
No,
you're
no,
clearly
I do not
fucking
want to
gunning
host the
for
podcast.
it. Okay.
I do not want to host the podcast.
Okay.
I just want to guest frequently.
Okay. All right. Well then,
I can do that.
Well then, better behavior.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
I will be dumber.
No, dude.
I will be dumber.
I love you calling out all the shit. No,
Dude,
you're
no, this is fun for me. I don't get a lot of opportunities to just be like, well, this is all the reason I did. These are all the reasons I didn't get laid in high school. Let me share with you my knowledge.
This whole podcast could be called "Why I Didn't Get Laid in High School." Oh man, we have fun though.
This is fun. This has been a lot of fucking fun.
But no, I mean, long story short, yeah, you're spot on the rifles, like dating them anyway. And like I was saying, I think I maybe misspoke, but what I was saying was I think those cannons are like a little shorter barreled than well, I don't know. I think the cannons.
Are you talking about the Haitian?
The Haitian
cannons?
one, yeah, the Haitian one came about in 1986, but based on earlier designs.
Yeah,
this one,
I mean,
1871.
That is pretty standard for I would say a 17th, 18th century cannon. Not all of them were like these huge long-barreled things.
The Napoleons and all the...
Yeah, well, because the entire cannon is your barrel as well. It is barrel, firing mechanism, whatever. And a lot of them, you didn't want them sticking too far out in front of your wheels because you would only be able to fire it so high.
Yeah, that's
because
fair.
if it's sticking that far out, you've got to have that back balance,
right?
And it's just you're gonna be putting your ass in the dirt, and you can only go up to so many degrees. Whereas you can fire it way higher and fire on targets that are closer to you with a shorter barrel cannon.
Yeah, I never thought of that, but that makes sense. All right, we got to move on
from the 3-point line.
In that. So the next one that I wanted to show you is here, and if you could briefly describe that one.
Oh wow, this one's a mess. Okay, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 sected 5 times, pentasected.
Sure.
Flag.
I'll allow it.
Dark blue field on the back. 2 thin yellow lines, top and bottom, and then across the middle, a wide red field. There are 2 spears with the spearheads facing right, 1 long staff with what appears to be fur on either end, and then in the middle, a black and white pointed oval with another little piece of fur on it. The black and white delineation is a squiggly line. I don't know how else to describe that.
There's not a better way. I've tried.
Yeah. There are on the black field of that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 white vertical bars, and on the white side 12 vertical black bars with spaces between a set of 6 on top of another set of 6.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's like, you've been killing it describing these. I don't know I don't know the term for, dissected 5 times or whatever, but yeah, it's basically, I think the way that it's listed as a horizontal triband of blue and yellow edged red. So like the yellows are called fimbriations. They're just like to separate colors kind of. And then, the large black and white thing in the middle is a Nguni shield. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably pronouncing it poorly. Nguni for those who are curious. But Nguni shield covering 2 spears and the staff decorated with feathers instead of fur, called Njobo. These are tassel bunches of the feathers of the widowbird and lory, and they're all, centered horizontally on the red band. So any quick ideas where this may come from? Even like broad area-wise.
It's definitely West African. Nope. Middle Africa? Yeah, I want to say African continent for sure.
Yeah.
Southern Africa?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wait, no, that can't
It's
be
not South Africa.
Yeah, because South Africa's...
it's just in the south of Africa.
Yeah, yeah. South Africa's flag is actually just a bloody handprint and the sound of screams. So...
That's right. We'll be covering that next week.
Fuck.
For 3 hours. No.
Is it Zaire?
It is not, nor is that a country
Shit.
anymore. So.
Oh, that's right.
You and I both grew up with atlases from like the
Yeah.
80s. No, dude, as soon
Yep.
as you said that, I was like, you grew up with probably the same atlas that I had. Because I used to fucking thumb through
Yeah.
that thing, knew everything
dude.
about it.
That shit is why I keep like telling myself I'm going to try out for Jeopardy again because I failed the test the first time.
Oh, yeah.
First couple of times I did.
Yeah, same. I don't, like to talk about
I just
it.
want to do it, but I don't know. Oh, shit.
No,
Ivory Coast.
So you're on track with it is a country that changed names, although this one very recently. So this is the flag of Eswatini, which was Swaziland up until a few years ago.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's one of the little like enclaves.
I didn't even realize they had changed their name. Yeah, it's like one of those teeny little
It's like Lesotho is like in the middle of South Africa. This one's like the northeast, and I think may technically border something else, but yeah, pretty small country.
Yeah. Oh yeah, South Africa's breaking up, and I'm excited for it. It's going to be Johannesburg is going to be the only like remnant of that.
Yeah, I mean South Africa came from like Transvaal, the Orange Free State, and like one or two other Cape Colony, and like maybe one other. So yeah, they may break up into those things again. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, Eswatini, I believe that's how it's pronounced. I'm probably butchering it, but Swaziland previously. And this is their flag. I'll go through it really quickly because we're a little bit short on time, but the shield in the middle that you said, like, there's no way to like describe to a listener like how it's like dissected kind of like between black and white. But the black and white on the shield is supposed to indicate that black and white people live in Eswatini in peace, in harmony.
Aw.
Which
good.
is like a great idea.
Do they?
I don't know. It is
South Africa.
I looked on their website, their embassy's website, and that is what it says there. Show that the shield is black and white to show that black and white people live together peacefully in Swaziland. I would argue that while now maybe they do, I think the whites have a pretty poor track record.
Yeah,
I mean the fact that it was called Swaziland for so long is like,
this is where we keep the Swazis.
Not great. I mean, that is like their name for themselves is like Swazi, but like if you're British and you're there and you're conquering them, or Dutch or whatever it was, and just like so they're Swazis. This is a land, Swaziland. Yeah, the laziest shit ever.
Dude, well, it's the same reason fucking Alexander the Great kept fucking naming towns after himself is because when
there's so many.
Yeah, Alexandria is Alexandra, Alexandretta. And it's because when you're conquering that much of a place that fast, you don't have time to think about the name because you're thinking about killing the people in the next fucking campaign.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, I think that's probably all the time we have to dedicate to Eswatini. I just wanted it noted that
a neat flag.
It is a neat flag.
You got me with one.
It's got that too. It's got two spears on it, hence the weapon theme of today. And they are behind the shield, indicating that the most important thing is defense of basically their values.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I think we have enough time to go over this one. And then probably one more. Any ideas on that one? Or / can you describe it really quick?
Okay, so trisected field with the, what'd you call them? The gaps, the delineations between the middle?
Yeah, fimbriations.
Trisected field, black top, red middle, green bottom. Fimbriations in white. In the center, there is a large red and black shield in the shape of an oval. It has black markings on the outside, sort of curved black markings on the outside, and then white markings that are two curved half ovals, top and bottom, and then an oval in the center. And behind the shield, two crossed spears pointed up right and up left.
Yep. And yeah, again, couldn't describe it better. And any idea what that one is?
Hang on. I think I'm right. I just got to check.
Are you Googling this?
Nope, I'm not. No, I Googled a country to see if I was right, and I was wrong. So I was like, is that Zimbabwe? No, it's not Zimbabwe. Fuck, Tanzania?
Nope.
Shit.
You want me to give you any hints? It's a little...
They are in Africa.
It is in Africa. It is in, generally speaking, Northeast Africa.
Northeast Africa.
Generally, it's more east. It's north too, but
East Africa. Somalia?
nope. Little southwest of that. Starts with a
Southwest of
K.
Somalia. Kenya.
Yes.
Hey, I got one.
Yeah. First try.
I apologize. On account of Europe's the one that did it to them, there isn't a lot of really good colonial African history stuff out there.
There's not. I could use to learn a lot more of, the non-colonial history myself too. But
oh, yeah, there's none of that.
yeah, I know you have to go soon, so there's not a whole ton to go over on this one. I would say it's fairly similar to the flag of Eswatini in that it has the shield. And again, like Kenya states that this is specifically for defense of their values, meaning that's why the shield is in front of the spears instead of the other way around. And other than that, other than like color and kind of like some design changes, it's fairly similar to the Eswatini one, I would say.
Yeah, it's fairly
Generally.
similar. That said, I do like it more than I like the Eswatini flag. I like my flags to be relatively simple. I like my flags. I'm like you. I don't like writing on my flags. I don't like super busy flags like the Haitian flag. Like in my opinion, don't get me wrong, I think it's a cool flag, but I don't like script and flag in any script, in any language. So I'm not a huge fan of the Saudi flag. If you're going to put script on a flag, make it Arabic, but not my favorite. But I do really, really like the Kenyan flag. The more I look at it, it's simple, it's elegant.
I think so too, yeah. It's more symmetrical than the Eswatini one too, because the Eswatini one has like both arrowhead or both spearheads facing the same direction. One of the feathers is like a little bit off center, things like that. Like you said, the design on the shield is like a mess. Kinda.
Well, the design on the shield is so modern. The design on the Eswatini flag is so modern. Like it's overly modern. It looks like an artwork piece that you would find. I'm sure Eswatini is fucking awesome, but the flag looks like an art piece that you would find in a freshman sophomore art gallery. Like freshman sophomore college art gallery.
All right, yeah, fair enough.
There's definitely a lot of thought into it, and there's definitely a lot of spirit there. There's something there, but it's too noisy and too busy. Like I was honestly going to joke and guess that it was the Florida Seminoles flag. I was going to guess that it was the Florida State Seminoles flag because it kind of looks like a football, like an American football for our
now I can't see anything else. Yeah,
exactly. It looks like a black and white American football with spears and feathers on it, which means go Noles.
Yeah, like generally, like to part of what you were speaking about, like generally you want your flag to be like easily reproducible. The way that it's often worded is like easily reproducible by school children. So like if school children are in art class or whatever, they have to draw the flag, color the flag, whatever. You want them to be able to do that. Generally speaking, not everyone obviously follows that rule, but I think we just have time for one more. So I'm going to cut straight to the chase and give you this one. And
is that your flag?
This is not my flag.
Okay.
Although I may steal a couple elements, yeah.
I mean, me too. It is a trisected field. On the top, it is darkish green, middle is black, bottom is yellow. It has white firminations, or whatever you called them. And then jutting into the center of that from the left is a red triangle on its side. Within that triangle on its side is a yellow star. On top of that is an open book. Crossed over the star and open book are a black farming hoe and an AK-47 with a bayonet.
Yep, that's exactly it. I'm glad you noticed the AK. I was talking to this one, talking about this one with my girlfriend earlier, and talking about like guns on flags, like how there's guns on the Guatemalan one too. And I was like, no, but this one is an AK. Like it's, and she was like, how do you know? I'm like, an AK has a look.
An AK has a distinct silhouette.
Yeah.
It has a distinct silhouette.
If you grew up playing like even video games and shit, like, you're gonna know
the AK.
AK.
Even in a house that had video games, or movies.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say. I think we've basically reached the pinnacle of weapons on flags now that we have an
Yeah.
AK-47, a Kalashnikov on the flag. Like you said, next to like a crossed with a farming implement over an open book. I forget exactly the significance of the book. I should know that, but we're running
It'll
low.
it'll probably be like education, also protection, also farming, also the people. Because anytime you have like red with a yellow star and anything crossed over it, it's communist.
And they do have a communist past. This
No, it's not
is a Portuguese-speaking African country.
A Portuguese-speaking African country.
Since we're running low.
Sierra Leone.
Nope. Good guess though.
Fuck. All right. We're running low on
a little
time.
further south. This is Mozambique.
Mozambique.
And
Well, their flag kicks ass.
Yeah.
I thought I had a favorite, and then you propped this one on me, and I have the favorite now. I'm probably going to buy a Mozambique flag and hang it in my house.
yeah, this flag is very cool. Like you said,
It's so fucking cool.
It's kind of sort of has like the Pan-African colors. It has the AK, the farming hoe, which is it's got like a name, this type of hoe. I don't know exactly
No,
what
it's
it
just a hoe. It's just a hoe. I just didn't want to just say a hoe.
Yeah. Farming.
Yeah, I'm trying to be respectful.
Okay, and it is based on the flag of the Mozambican Liberation Front, which in Portuguese is is abbreviated Free Limo. Only one
Literally
E, but
Oh, wow.
Free Limo is the only way I can read
that's
that.
just the way Portuguese is. Like, that's why I love revolutionaries, like especially African revolutionaries or Central and Southern American revolutionaries or island like Caribbean revolutionaries, because they all have these ridiculously long fucking names.
Yep. Yeah.
It's always
Even
like-
the abbreviation. Yeah.
Yeah, the abbreviation is like 2 words, and it's like the People's Republic of Liberating the neighborhoods between 10th Street and 12th Street in Brooklyn on the date of January 8th, 1973 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so
Free Limo.
so
Yeah, because
great.
they like to take words and then like take like not just the first letter from them, but like the first like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So Free Limo is, and I know Spanish, but not Portuguese, so my pronunciation is going to be more Spanish, but it's like Frente de Libertação de Moçambique. So FRE from Frente, LI from Libertação, and MO from Mozambique.
Oh, wow.
And then in 2005, they held a competition to design a new flag because basically the opposition party that isn't super socialist or super, I don't know, proud of this flag, they argued that the star represents the country's communist past and that the AK is incompatible with a country trying to be peaceful. And I think they have a good point, at least on the latter one.
They have a pretty good point. They have a pretty good point.
But do you know the
Honestly,
opposition party's name? The one that's trying to like remake the flag and like rename things, kind of?
What?
Renamo. It sounds like a
Is it Run by
Futurama
Robots?
joke.
Yeah.
It sounds.
Yeah. What's your name? I'm Renamo. I rename things.
Yeah, for those.
That's what I get when I'm drunk. I'm Renamo when I'm drunk.
No, exactly. To pull back the curtain, we just got a couple minutes of Bryant left, but I had to get Renamo in here.
Dude, that's so great.
The ones that
yeah,
wanted to change the flag were called Renamo.
I fucking love it.
And I know, I
God,
hope
man.
this isn't too culturally insensitive to laugh at, but like honestly, Renamo in English, fuck it, it's funny.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, that's the
I'm
great
sure
thing
there's
about language is it's funny like that.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, like I said, I know we're short on time here, so those are the flags, not all the flags of the world, and I may even like add in a couple on my own in the edit, but with weapons on them. So we will go ahead and wrap things up. You've got like literally a minute, but would you like to plug anything while while I got you here?
The big ones, I don't have any shows coming up because I thought I was planning a trip that I wasn't. So I am looking for bookings. Find me online and book me. Follow me on Instagram at Mickey Louse Club. You can follow me on Twitter at The Only Bryant. I'm hilarious on both, and I'm a genius. So
All right,
follow me on
perfect.
social media.
Yeah, and you have a podcast coming out at some point, but maybe next time you're
At
on
some
here, we
point.
can talk about that.
Yeah. Next time we're on here, we'll talk about when I'm finally biting the bullet and doing my own podcast.
All right, cool. And with that, Bryant had to leave. So this is me recording the outro the night that I'm editing this. So Not my typical usual thing, but in any case, all the same stuff. Go and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at flagged the number 4, like the digit content. You can follow me at Darth Plato, spelled like it sounds, everywhere on social meds. The easiest way to get in touch with the show, including the Discord, which I've been really trying to push, and we've got a pretty decent community growing in there, is going to be at flagged.rocks. And I know that doesn't sound like a URL. I go over it every week. You guys should be used to it by now. But it is, in fact, a URL. So go to flagged.rocks. That'll take you to like our website, all of our social media, all that stuff. And yeah, follow Bryant at the places that he said. And I think that's it. And, you know, I have in my notes here to come up with a catchy thing to say at the end of the show. And bad news. I still haven't thought of it. So until next time, this podcast has been Flagged for Content. Thanks for listening, y'all.